It's weird when you drive through a place that holds a lot of memories. Life is like that. It seems like yesterday I was a little kid running through these streets and watching my family work so hard. It kind of hits you with a lot of emotions. This White House was the original Rio Grande tortilla factory. This is where it all began, right here.
My full name is Ninfa Laurenzo Mandola. I used to always joke with my mother that this town was only big enough for one Ninfa. My mother's name was Ninfa Maria Rodriguez, and she was one of 12 children. Her parents immigrated from Mexico in 1910 during the revolution to South Texas. My father saw my mother and he was thunderstruck. Within the year, they were married.
So there's this famous coin flip. My grandmother chose Houston, and my grandfather chose Los Angeles, and my grandmother wins the coin flip. They land here on Navigation Boulevard, and they start Rio Grande Tortilla Factory in 1949.
My father spent all my childhood being the coach at the Little League down here at Settegast Park. And my mother selling snow cones and food to the players.
His love of baseball ran very deep.
I was 14 years old. My father unfortunately died of an aneurysm. We had a family meeting, and my mother said, you know, we open a restaurant, we can always eat.
My grandmother takes the front room of the tortilla factory and converts it into a 5-table restaurant, and so Ninfa's on Navigation is born.
I've been going to Ninfa's all my life. It's a wonderful place for celebrations. It was also a special treat.
My grandmother introduces tacos al carbon to Navigation Boulevard. And what she did is take outside skirt and made it edible simply by the way she prepared it.
We'd get one customer who was a lawyer downtown, then he'd bring another lawyer. And by 75, we had to add the third room.
Got so busy that eventually the entire factory became Ninfa's on Navigation. By 1976, the second Ninfa's on Westheimer is under construction, and by 1980, there's probably 7 or 8 Ninfa's already in existence. I remember running into John Travolta, Dennis Quaid, Meg Ryan. President Bush became a really close friend of my grandmother. And my grandmother remembered everybody's name and always did her best to go out of her way to go say hi to them, to visit every table.
Ninfa really put Second Ward on the map. You had folks from all different backgrounds coming because it was such a unique style of food. The flour tortillas, which were hand-rolled, you watched somebody make them as you walked in the door, and it smelled fabulous.
Ninfa's was in its heyday in the 1980s. My understanding is that we overextended our credit. I remember it hitting the front page of the Houston Chronicle that Ninfa's is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
When the bankruptcy happened, it was just very shocking. It was really heartbreaking to watch that happen.
The whole nucleus of what was my grandmother and her 5 kids and all her grandchildren was this tightly knit family unit, and that shattered it. It sent everybody into different directions to this day, and it was never the same after that. When she passed away in 2001, the city lost an icon and somebody that they loved very much. I remember her funeral procession was miles long, passing in front of Ninfa's Navigation, and it stopped. And all the employees came out, all the customers came out, and they clapped. It was just an amazing moment. We're gonna pass by Domburger, which is now the Moon Tower Inn. And Domburger is an integral part of my family's history because it got us through a difficult period while we formulated brainchild El Tiempo Cantina. My dad, he says, son, I finally got the name for the restaurant. And I said, what is it? He says, El Tiempo. And when he said it to me over the phone, I started crying. It's just the greatest name for us because it means the time. It's wonderful to see how things have evolved and the beautiful restaurant that has become an institution, which is Ninfa's on Navigation. Ninfa's Navigation is 46 years old, and El Tiempo Navigation is going on 7. So basically, we came full circle with going bankrupt and then starting over again, only to find ourselves back at our roots. When you're at El Tiempo, it's about reminiscing while you enjoy the present with friends and plan out the future. We carry my grandmother's recipes on with us.
The whole city called her Mama for a reason, because she was that kind of loving, maternal, caring person. If you talked to her, you were the most important person in the room. I wanted to do something that would make her proud, and we could take advantage of her impact in the community. So we decided to start the Ninfa Laurenzo Scholarship Fund. So I sat down with my brother Roland, and I said, why don't we have a taco challenge? And the last 2 years, we've raised a total of $240,000. My mother's influence transcended this neighborhood, not just because of her fantastic food and her recipes that she had in her memory that she shared with everyone, but because of the personality she was, and she was not afraid to cross barriers, be bold, make changes in life, connect people.
I'm very proud to continue to carry my grandmother's torch in the city of Houston. So many people admired her and loved her. She was an amazing mentor to me and to all that came into contact with her.